How's it going? About time for another aquaponic update. Thought we'd start up here with the fish. Just fed these guys, so they're pretty much all down the bottom. We'll have a bit of a sneak peek and see if they're around. They're all pretty much all down the bottom, I think. It's a bit hard to focus in here. A bit bright. But the tank's going alright. Had a few issues with the standpipe falling down at the back that feeds the grow beds. I hadn't noticed for 2 days. The lid's down low and I've just been throwing the food in for them. And yeah, ended up with a bit of a solids deposit on the bottom, but that got cleaned out pretty easily. And speaking of solids deposit, the other day, I've actually left my tools down here. I came down here. This is just a bit of a lid from the IBC, or a bit of the top, sorry, that we cut out and we just use here to cover the tap. The tap that allows the liquid to come out of the IBC, makes sense, is down the bottom here, and as it's a bit of a low point, I was a bit worried that some of those solids were getting trapped down there and turning a little bit anaerobic and releasing sulfur, which is very deadly to the fish as a gas. So I emptied her up, let it out, and I was very surprised to see there was not a lot of solids trapped in that low point whatsoever, so very pleased about that. I think having the outlet for this filter, the bottom of the pipe is directly in front of that low point, so I think that will be drawing some of those solids out, and so there's not a very large build-up in there, so most chuffed. Still haven't turned this radial flow filter around and added it into this line over here. I went out and bought the rest of the parts yesterday, and I want to also do some modifications on the filter drum itself. I might in fact buy another drum. I went to build a fish farm in the afternoon, and Paul explained how to remove the solids more efficiently from the base of these filters, so I'm going to do a bit of a rework of this one, or I might buy another filter drum, and yeah, I'll do something on that. So this little drum has been worth its weight in gold though. It's been removing a lot of solids out of there. I emptied this out last Thursday. It's now Monday, and already I think I could probably do a flush from there. It's working really well, but I would like to have it in line over here. The grow beds themselves are going fairly well. As you can see, this one's just turned into a jungle. This one down here I've planted some more garlic into. I'm very happy with that. We're starting to get little garlic sprouts up everywhere. Another one just over here. The garlic that I planted out a couple of weeks ago is going alright. There's the 5 of them. 2 are looking much better. Get out of your light. 2 of them are looking much better than the other 3, but I'm fairly happy with the way it's going. Can't really complain. Egyptian spinach has kicked off, and so have those watermelon radishes. We'll go around the back and check them out in a little while. These celery just keep getting harvested. There's 4 clumps of them and they keep getting harvested all the time. But yeah, they just keep pouring the growth back on. I transplanted one of the Egyptian spinach from when I was cleaning out the other grow bed into here, and he seems to have taken off alright. He's rather shaded. And this is a small little purple berry eggplant, I forget the name for now, that was transplanted out of one of the back IBCs. It wasn't looking too happy down there, so I gave him a bit of a washout. His roots a bit of a washout, and put him in here, and he seems to be doing fine. Kangkong just taking over everything. This pepino has done exceptionally well. I'm really impressed with it. I was going to pull it from the system, especially seeing as it's planted right next to the little siphon down here, but is not hindering the action of the siphon at all, so I'm pretty happy with leaving him. He's getting loads of flowers on, so I'm thinking, yeah, we might end up with some decent pepinos. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys go compared with the ones we got last year in the barrel that was up near the back stairs. So most happy to let him go. As I said, the kangkong is just taken over. We're eating that and everything. Salads, stir fries, curries, goes into a bit of everything. There's a carrot in here somewhere. Should probably pull him out soon. Also too, the lavender that's in here is still going great guns. It's growing down over the sides now. There's 2 lavenders in there. The other lavenders are around the other side here. There's still strawberries in there as well. I've been hacking off the strawberry runners as they fall down here. I've got another lot over here and just giving them to people who visit. Actually, I just pulled one out of the ground. They're actually rooting themselves into the ground down here. That one's taken, so they'll probably end up getting mowed, but such is. More kangkong flowers. You can't even see the inlet pipes over here, so I have to check them rather regularly. Over here the kangkong's just totally taken over this bed. The water chestnuts The ones that are over there are just being squashed by the kangkong. These ones here look to be doing so-so. This bed here I think is the next one that will be taken offline and cleared, mainly because it has all the kangkong in there and the water chestnuts, and when I pull them out there's going to be a lot of solids that are going to be moved around, and yeah, it'll just make for one messy clean out I think. So I think it's probably best to just take this grow bed offline, try to retrofit it with a bit of a cleaning system I'm sort of working on, and this will be the prototype to see if that works. And all the solids that I do remove from this can just go straight out into the garden. So that's another job to add to the list. And these water chestnuts are probably going to start dying back on the next month or so. The ones in the little greenhouse over, or insect house over there, already have started to die back. Got lettuce just going to seed over here. Have to try and trim back some of this greenery because it's starting to shade out our little golden beetroot down here. We've got some Detroits over here as well, so I think this celery is going to have to be cut right back just to give them a bit of sun. The aspect of the sun now is coming into winter. North is that away-ish, so all this greenery is going to be shading out all these seedlings, so I have to get to them. Parsley's doing alright. I put a cutting of the Warrigal Green in here, mainly because the one in the little barrel we were growing is pretty much all died now. And these are the watermelon watermelon radish. They're doing alright by the look of it. And as you can see, I haven't washed this filter pad off this week, so take him off now and give him a bit of a wash in a little while. Yeah, so I'm thinking of expanding this system this way as well. I went through this bed the other day to dig some galangal out for a friend, and this bed is just full of roots. I think the liner for the wicking bed has been compromised yet again, and the roots have gotten in here. So what I'm thinking about doing is extending this feed line all the way down to there into the end of a constant flow raft style system, and then the water will travel down this end, go out a drain pipe that I'll bury underneath the gravel here and back up and into the sump. So that'll increase our growing space by probably about 2 to 3 square meters. So that's just another thing to add to the list of the jobbies. The other week I went over to the Build Fish Farm in a Backyard event put on by Paul from Earthen Group, and met up with CC Bear and Blind Freddy from the Backyard Aquaponics forums. G'day mates. And had a great day. I really enjoyed the whole look at building the little fish farm. It's just a little 2,000 litre jobby based on 2 IBCs, and I'm thinking about situating mine there and across here. You basically have 2 IBCs as fish tanks, and the way Paul had set it up, the configuration he has, I mean, you can change the pipework however you want, but he had all the filters and the digesters in the centre. I may set it up that way, I may not, we'll just see how we go, but I'm pretty much all sold on the use of a fish farm rather than the aquaponics. Still keep the aquaponics, but run that separately. You need to change out a fair bit of water. I had a look at a table the other day, thank you Paul, and I'm fairly confident that we'll be flushing out less water from the aquaculture setup than we would need to water our wicking beds in here. So these are all wicking beds for people who haven't seen our soil garden updates. They're all wicking beds, so they all have a reservoir on the bottom. So what I can do is run the wastewater from the aquaculture farm or fish farm straight into the reservoir of these wicking beds, and hopefully we'll just see some astounding growth on the vegetables planted out in these beds, just because of the amount of nutrients that will be suspended in that water. I have decided to pull these okra out. They're starting to look a bit mangy. I've already pulled one out, and this one closest to us will go as well. So these beds are winding down here. I can transplant that eggplant, and what that means is I can dig these beds out, empty them out, move them out to the front of the property where we're starting up a few veggie beds out there, and I can start setting up for the fish farm here. I don't know whether I could actually buy fish for it this year, but the idea I had was moving some of my jade perch from there over into there. That'll just seed the biofilter with some bacteria and get it cycling. It'll take a fair while to cycle, and it'll be up and ready come next fingerling, or the next time we can buy fingerling. I've actually been looking into different styles of tanks, but I think I might just stick with the IBCs for price. So I was also asked how long the beds take to fill and drain, and I've got the figures here. The bed just behind me here, this one here, takes 1 minute 56 for the bed to actually drain, and then to refill it, ready to drain again for the next siphon, is 4 minutes 8 seconds. So it's roughly twice as long to fill as it is to drain. So we do have very sloppy siphons though, and they do need to be improved. That's something I'll be looking at when we rework the system. So I am wearing a different shirt. That's because I lost the finish of the last clip I made, so I had to reshoot it again today. So luckily I had that little bit about the beds to add in. Anyway, any comments, questions, suggestions, just drop in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope you all have a great one and take it easy. Catch ya.